We only have one show left to talk about, gentlemen, and I know y'all are both thrilled. It
Rings.
is time for the Rings of Power.
I
I
gotta
know
be
how much
honest.
Maddie loves this show,
No,
man.
I
I
gotta be honest. I've given up on it. I didn't watch this. I didn't watch this episode at all.
wait,
Um,
you won't mind if we spoil it for you.
no,
Yeah,
I won't mind. But
Maddie
I'm gonna have
checked
a.
out.
I'm just going to go to the mute button. I'm gonna have a dance party.
Have a dance party. This is Rings of Power, episode 5, and the summary goes a little bit like this. We open on the Harfoots and the stranger who protects them on their perilous journey. We learn the origins of Mithril. That was pretty dope. Nori gets cold. Adar gets even colder. Theo gives Arondir the hilt, which is also a key. Prince Durin is a real one for helping the elves, and Galadriel, Halbrand, and the Numenor people set sail for Middle Earth. Joe, please tell me you enjoyed episode 5 titled Partings.
I did enjoy episode 5. I'm vested in this thing, dude. I'm not going anywhere. I like Lord of the Rings and I like this show. I'm interested to see where everything's going to go. Seeing what's going on with Nori and her family and the Harfoots and how they got themselves in trouble, and they got the wolves to chase after them here. And then who comes and saves them but the stranger? But the stranger showed just, how powerful he can be, but it also shows that when he hits the ground with his hand, and sends these wolves flying back, that there is something that happened to him as well because he seemed injured or depleted, you know, and he had to recharge. He's kind of some type of elemental because he goes up and tries to recharge his powers or heal himself by using water, and of course that's when things start getting a little cold, as he starts enchanting. He starts saying some chant, and everything starts to freeze, and then Nori's getting scared and she goes up and tries to help him and tell him, hey, that's enough, and then she starts getting cold and she starts freezing up. I thought she was about to lose an arm, and then of course she gets scared, she falls back, he breaks the trance or what have you. And I think she's starting to realize that this dude ain't what he appears to be. Even though she thinks he's a good person, we're starting to find out slowly but surely. I don't think he is, Ted. He's nefarious in the way he goes about things. I think he feels like he can be a good person with the Harfoots and especially Nori, but you can see that there's something amiss here, you know. And interesting, because we all kind of suspected that. So I want to see exactly where that's going to go. But even with Galdriel, and what's going on over there with that kingdom, and they sit and sell and all that, it's leading up, to set these events in motion here that we already know are about to happen. So it's just again, it's almost like House of the Dragon, where everything's getting you know, put into position. Now they're getting ready to play the game. They're really starting to get ready to play chess here. And things are about to get real as we find out that the townsfolk are now starting to give up, and they want to go ahead and just surrender. And the one lone elf there is telling them not to, but as we start seeing, even if they were to surrender, the outcome for them is not going to be good. It's going to be one that's going to be very dire, as they're going to be made to work, and basically they're going to not gain their freedom, but they're going to acquire their enslavement, and they're probably going to die a miserable death, just working themselves to death. So it looks like things are not looking good for the townsfolk. Let's put it like that, Ted.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I was hoping that after the end of the last episode that things were going to be progressing a little bit more, but no, this was just like we're going to start training people before we actually set out. I was like, you sons of bitches. All right, whatever, that's fine. So one more episode. Hopefully, next one things will get going. This is more of like another setup. Last week was a little bit of a setup, but now
Oh,
we've
I was
we've
going to
set
tell you,
sail. We better not have a whole episode at sea. That's all I'm saying. We better not have a whole
I
episode
have a theory
of
for
just
you.
them on a ship. Well,
I
hang
have
on,
a
hang on,
theory
hang on,
for you.
hang on, hang on. Save that real quick. David says ranks And he also says, they said Silmaril. Yes, they did. Also got to see a Balrog. I didn't know there was more than one. I thought there was one.
No, there's yeah.
Daniel says, I watched the other half. And David says he's also invested. Daniel says, still hate the Harfoots. Everything else was good. David says, who do you guys think the stranger is? Joe, you give your point, and then we'll talk about the stranger a
I
little bit.
just okay. My thing is Adar. You know, the father of the orcs. They all call him father.
Yeah.
I think he is the brother of Galdriel. That's what I think. They haven't seen
Oh,
each other,
you bastard.
and I believe that she believes that he is dead, but he's not dead. He's still alive. She hasn't seen him yet. So to me, that's going to be a big moment if they wind up crossing paths. You know.
Damn it,
Now,
Joe.
now, who do I think the stranger is? I think the stranger is basically he might be a dark wizard, you know, a mage or however you want to put it. That's what I think.
David figured it out. David's spoiling everything for us. Adar is Benjen Stark in Game of Thrones. The same actor? Is that what you're trying to say? The same actor?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I do not recognize him without facial hair.
yeah.
Awesome.
It's the
Um,
makeup.
the Stranger. I posed my theory last week that the Stranger is some sort of warlock, wizard, but evil, right? So warlock or sorcerer, and he's definitely some part of some kind of weird prophecy, right? I think he is some part of Sauron. I don't know exactly how that works out, but I do feel like without the stranger, there is no Sauron. Maybe there's two parts of him, and Adar might be the other part, and maybe when they sort of come together, they can form what we know as the entity Sauron. But I do believe, like Joe's already mentioned, we've been talking about this for weeks, that the stranger, his purpose is a nefarious one. He can only conjure up like dark magic, and it's lethal and deadly to living things around him.
Well, we saw in
So
the beginning of the episode, they saw those people coming to look for him. You know, those are the people that summoned him here.
there you go. And they also look very nefarious.
Yeah, they don't look like they're up to good
No,
stuff.
no. They look like they're on the bad team. Yeah. Let's see here. David says Galadriel had more than one brother. Ooh, because we saw Finrod's corpse. I kind of thought we did too. At least I thought we saw like a casket, but maybe it's just playing in her head that way. Maybe it's not necessarily evidence of him. I love how Matt's just sitting there and he has no idea what we're talking about. Does he? Can he hear us? Maybe he can't hear
I think he
us.
can. He can hear you.
Can he hear us? Maybe he can't hear us.
I could sit in a room for 100 years watching paint dry, and you know. But no, I'm having a great time actually. It's not my show, so I'm just sitting back and enjoying watching as a fan. I'm just being a fan.
There
Yeah,
you
that's
go.
what
There you
we're
go.
talking about, Daniel. We talked about the creepy looking elf person at the crater site. They're there looking for the person they summoned, which is the stranger.
So yeah, Joe thinks they're the reason why he's here to begin with. I also feel like they are a part of some like mystical cult. They probably have dark magic of their own. They look that the type. Either that or they're a part of a European heavy metal band, and that's just what I think. And then Daniel says that blonde. Oh, sorry, that elf looks like blonde, skinny 11. There you go. There you go. David says 8 Mile Elf. There you go. Yeah, that's it. Oh man, awesome. Again, I feel like last week was a build up, and I thought this was going to be no more build up. We're going to get going to a couple of things. This was another build up, so I hope we're just not building up to the finale of season one, and that's just going to be what we're leading, kind of building up towards. I hope there's other moments, hopefully the next episode, where we kind of see a little bit more action, maybe some fighting, kind of figure out what's going on here a little bit more. But it is all very interesting, and I will say that all very very interesting. Yeah, that's kind of, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for things to really kind of move forward. The story about how Mithril was sort of conjured up, I really dug that. I thought that was pretty dope.
I thought
It
the
was
animation was good there too, telling the story.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I loved all that stuff. That was really cool. And then for Prince Durin to kind of help out the elves to begin with. Again, I said in my summary, he's a real one. How could you not love this guy? Prince Durin is an absolute treasure, and no pun intended. But
I love the way he was trolling the elves, though. He gave them that bullshit story about where the slate came from and told them that he needed it back, and he's like, "You made that story up about the table." He's like, "Yeah, no shit, but I just want to see him work."
let's see here. David says top notch CGI. That's where all the money's going, bro. All the money's going there. It's pretty awesome.
It's beautiful to look at. I mean, Rings of Power is a really cinematic masterpiece when it comes to the scope and what they've been able to do with it. They spend a lot of money on the production quality, and you can tell. You know.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I also, I enjoyed the little moments. Galadriel, sparring with the soldiers. I thought that was all done really well. The choreography and all that. It's good. I enjoy it. It's entertaining. I also, certain parts were very moving. I felt like by the end of this episode, just seeing those ships sail off, very moving. It's kind of pulled on the heartstrings a little bit. Um, it's very beautiful. It's a great moment, but I don't want to see any more. No more buildups. None. Let's go. Like, don't give me another build-up episode. I don't want a stepping stone. I want to get to places. I want to see stuff go down. Maybe that'll happen next episode. Battle at Sea. Let's see what happens then. Daniel says my biggest prediction: there will be a season two. You know what? Maddie's gonna put some money on that, and he's gonna say there's not gonna be a season two. So there you go.
No, there will be. I'm not
You
watching
know
it,
what?
but there will be.
Maddie, I feel your pain, man. I really do because he just can't. He's just not vested in the show. It doesn't do nothing for him. It's not interesting to him. And that's exactly the same way that I felt about Halo. We reviewed Halo from the beginning all the way to the bitter end, and that was a hard series to get through.
That
So
was
I feel
tough.
your pain, Maddie. I feel your
It was,
pain.
no, Halo was a tough watch. I remember I was just kind of getting started with Ted of trying to invite me on to the the GeekCast at the time that show was premiering, and it was a tough watch. I would watch the Rings of Power 1,000 times before I ever try to rewatch season one of Halo.
Yeah, it was a
That's the
hot one.
hardest. It's the hardest show to watch. Tough watch. A tough watch.
Tough, real tough. Oh, we fought through all that, all of us. And again, you guys are always saying that I love everything we watch and that we talk about. That was clearly one that I was not on board with from the get go. So
You
there
know
you
what? It
go.
was so bad,
There
man.
you go.
Jericho couldn't even get through half the episode one, the pilot episode.
We
Jericho
gotta
couldn't
check.
do it.
We gotta check back
I
with him and
actually
see if
I
he
liked
ever
like
got through one.
the first two. I was still invested in Halo. I have like a 3 to 4 episode rule. If you can't catch me by 3 4, I can't invest time in it because I watch a lot of TV. So
No,
if you don't catch me by 3 4, I'm out.
And now,
by the end of episode one, I was already like, why are we scared of the Spartans that are supposed to be the heroes of this show? This doesn't make any sense. You better explain this. And I waited 8, 9, 10 episodes for them to explain to me why we should be afraid of Spartans, and I didn't buy it. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
But Rings of Power, we want to hear from you guys. What are your theories going forward? Drop them in the comments. What are your biggest takeaways from episode 5? We only have 9 episodes, so only 4 more episodes to go, and I'm really interested. But this is sort of like the Star Wars prequels. We know this ends badly. I feel like we're just we're watching a car crash in slow motion. We know that these orcs are going to take over this area, and it's not going to end well for the humans, the elves, for the dwarves, anybody really.
Yeah, and they're
But
gonna end well for Middle Earth, period.
no, no, not at all. So I am excited, but I'm also worried. Like, when does stuff hit the fan? That's what I'm really interested
I
in
think
finding
I
out.
think it's about to, Ted, because there's we're already more than what halfway through the season, so
Yeah,
it's gonna
absolutely.
pick up. They're forced to pick up.
Hey guys, AJ and I'm here. For more GeekCast episodes, subscribe to us on your podcast app and please write us a review. Be sure to like us at Facebook at facebook.com/CountdownCityGeekcast. Follow us on Twitter at ccg_podcast or visit our website at www.countdowncitygeekcast.com. See you later, guys.